In a city drowning in corruption, two renegades rise from the shadows, Legoe and Squid, in reckless retribution. Together, they are the last line of defense in a world where justice is a forgotten dream. As dawn breaks, an old enemy resurfaces with a plan to plunge the city into chaos. Legoe and Squid must face their demons and trust each other to save the city they call home. In the heart of darkness, they stand tall. This is their story.
Maxing and relaxing.
What kind of shit is that? You know, we just gotta look fly sometimes. We gotta dress to impress, you know? Gotta show these people what it's like. You know, we ain't just tattoo artists, but we're very fine, young, working gentlemen of today's society.
Tell me about how you got started in the tattoo game. I know you got some kind of crazy story and shit about this.
Originally, when I was growing up, I didn't really want to become a tattoo artist. What I really wanted to do was paint cars. I wanted to pinstripe. I wanted to do everything when it came to vehicles. Well, I had to be like 19, and one day I'm at my sister's house and I get a phone call from my roommate at the time saying, you know, don't freak out, but the cops are about to break down the door. Well, some stuff happened with my neighbors and some rival people that we had in the neighborhood, and an altercation happened. It really made me feel like shit because after like all the things that have happened at my house, that was the first time that house has ever really gotten raided, and I'm putting my mom through that. It really killed me. At the time, a close friend, they had hit me up and said, hey, you know, fill out for an apprenticeship. We'll get you in, but you have to run with it. You have to make sure you stick on top of everything. You're going to be cleaning. You're going to be doing everything. And so I changed my phone number. I deleted all my social medias. I went complete MIA for a solid like a year and a half, 2 years, until I was starting to get to the end of my apprenticeship and I could really start
Hold your own.
Yeah, holding on to the fact that I am right here. I need to finish this apprenticeship and I can start doing what I wanted to do. I learned a lot on my own because I was on night shift. I was the only person working night shift that spoke English. I was still learning a lot from those guys, and I still have amazing love for all the people that I worked with when I was going through my apprenticeship. But at the end of the day, I needed to do what was best for me, and that's right after my apprenticeship, I started working here at Koolsville, and I've been going since. I love it.
Honestly, how did you get started, man? How did you know that this was what you were going to do?
Well, I mean, I kind of always knew. I was kind of always, you know, when I was a kid, I always had big dreams. And I always tried to have a plethora of big dreams. Because I fully believe that in my life that I always had control and that I always was able to do the things that I wanted to do. So anything that I wanted to do, I made it happen. And what I really wanted to do, what I really made happen was tattooing. It was the most important thing to me. My mom had a half sleeve before I even knew what tattoos were. I remember being a little kid and I was probably about 8 years old, and I remember her being in the tattoo shop being like, Mom, when are we gonna go? She was getting tattooed for hours. And you know, when I was 16, when I turned 16, the day I turned 16, I was like, yeah, I want a tattoo. So, when I met my artist, I did the first tattoo, we became friends, and we were friends for quite a while, for many years. And then, you know, I had asked him so many times after I turned 18, like, you know, do you need an apprentice? Do you need an apprentice? You know, finally one day I caught him at an opportune time where his apprentice had actually signed off, and he was, you know, he had considered letting me be an apprentice, and then that's where the whole, you know, scooping the toilet thing up came. You know, and that's where that story came from. And, you know, I mean, at that point, that was my like induction into tattooing. So I wasn't an apprentice at that time, but it was like my first job as an apprentice. Like, you know, you want to be an apprentice, you're gonna do this. You know, I never wanted to quit, never, ever. Never did I look in the mirror and say, I'm going to quit. You know, because I needed to make it happen. And that's what my goal was. That was my dream. So I would have never done anything to waver from that. And I did anything that I possibly could, whether it be morally objectable or not.
So you literally, you've only ever been in the tattoo industry. It's the only job.
No, that is not true. Not at all. I was a construction worker when I was 18. I was a professional pipe layer when I was 18 years old.
That's like a dad joke. What artists like inspired you along the way, dude? Both of you guys.
All those cartoonists and all those illustrators from, Japan really inspired me. Like Miyazaki, to be able to create like that is something that inspired me. I know there's things in my head that I need to get out that I can make with my own hand.
It wasn't even about a person that inspired me. It was the lowriding culture, to be honest with you. Watching the pinstripe and the paint jobs and just those kind of cars. I've always been into vehicles since I was a child, and I knew that eventually in my life that I was going to be an artist, and I wanted to be an artist. And seeing those vehicles and knowing that I wasn't able to go after, I could still probably go paint cars, but now it's just a whole different ballgame being a tattoo artist. And what inspires me to stay being a tattoo artist is the amount of people that we get to talk to and the cool art that we get to tattoo on a daily basis.